Hello, my friends. This is The Art of Prepping. Hope you guys are doing good today. So, when it comes to this pandemic, I talk to people that are all over the place. They have viewpoints that are here and there, and some people are in complete denial, or they just say that it's all fake. And then there are the people who say it's really bad out there and you should never leave your home and, it's the end of the world. And then there's people who are in the middle, and there's people all over the place. So my first question is to you guys, what do you think? What do you think about this pandemic? How bad is it really? And now I just want to give you my 2 cents. And it's going to probably not even be worth 2 cents, but let's just say it's worth 2 cents. What I see personally is that these tests, these so-called tests that's supposed to tell us if we have, this virus, it seems like it has a very high rate of false positives. So we're getting a lot of people who are being told that they have the virus when they really don't. And we are finding out that these tests can pick up all kinds of things beyond the virus in question. It can pick up infections. It can pick up the common cold, the flu, just all kinds of things. So that's the first thing that I have a problem with, all these false positive test results. Next, I have a problem with health departments around the world switching up the definition of what determines a case. It used to be in the first few months of this whole pandemic that a case involved someone that had positive symptoms and who was receiving, some kind of care. They were receiving treatment for their ailments, their symptoms. Now, a case is just anyone that has a positive test result. Even though you may have no symptoms, even though it may be a false positive, it doesn't really matter because that's now the new definition of a case. So no wonder we're seeing the so-called cases go way up, even though in a lot of places, and not the majority, the deaths are going down or remaining the same. And in a lot of places, like the vast majority of the world, the hospitals are not overrun. The intensive care units are not even close to being filled. And in some locations, it's just everything is pretty much empty. Hospitals are pretty much empty. It's just amazing that you start to see in a lot of first world countries this heavy-handed lockdown, this big lockdown. It's like, for what reason? Their hospitals are pretty much empty. The number of cases are not that high still. Like, why the big lockdown? Well, this is the topic that can go way down the rabbit hole, and we're not going to even go there in this video. But I think that if you're aware of anything, you know why certain powers to be would want to destroy economies, to destroy the sovereignty of certain nation states, why they would want to consolidate that power and that influence for certain reasons. But going back to the pandemic, how serious is this? Or at least how serious should we take it? Of course, this is just my 2 cents on this part again. And I think that, it makes sense to be somewhat careful, just like you don't want to catch the common cold or catch the flu. So, it makes sense that you want to probably not be around people, unless you have to be around people, and to wash your hands. The whole mask thing is kind of questionable, really, how much it really helps. It probably doesn't do much, if you ask me. I've seen a lot of tests in the last few months done on masks, and a lot of stuff can still get in, and a lot of people don't wear the mask correctly, and there's all kinds of space for the so-called virus to get in. So I don't think that the mask is a large element to help prevent the spread, in my opinion. But I do see, though, that a lot of people have a lot more stress and anxiety, and they're more fearful because of this pandemic. I do see that economies everywhere are starting to really stress out and have a lot of difficulties. A lot of people have lost their business permanently or have had major setbacks financially. A lot more people than I can ever remember in my lifetime are now dependent on their governments for unemployment checks or some type of help. And it's amazing when you see the stock market, for example, here in America, dependent now on the next stimulus relief fund, the next stimulus bill. And when the markets don't get their stimulus quick enough, the markets start to crash. Isn't that amazing? But on the first whim that Congress is starting to talk to each other again, and looks like maybe in a week or so we'll have a bill and it'll be passed. Oh my gosh, massive surges in the market. You tell me if this is a healthy economy. You tell me if the country is healthy just overall. I mean, wow. It's amazing. In less than a year, we go from things are okay. I mean, we still have all kinds of problems economically, right? Just because of the debt. And it was starting to go into a bubble territory pretty strong right before all this coronavirus thing happened. But things were still like not horrible. And then you have this pandemic, and then it's just like, it's like shut down your life, you know? And of course, they're saying that, well, things should probably get back to somewhat of a normal going toward the middle of 2021. I mean, seriously? Wow. I mean, isn't that crazy? You know, if we have to wait that long? Of course, there are some people who say they will never get back to normal. I don't know about that either. I mean, it's always a possibility. I'm a little bit more of an optimist. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, for those who have messaged me, I just kind of wanted to do this video as well, just to kind of give you my thoughts that I do think the pandemic is real. I don't think it's as bad as what they're saying. I think there's a lot of hype. I think the tests are really crappy and they're giving us a ton of false positives. I don't like how they keep like reinterpreting and redefining terms like what's a case and what's not anymore. I don't like how the media pushes fear. I don't like how our governments have made this into a political issue. And I don't like the control that our governments are starting to get an upper hand over the citizens in a big way. And how many citizens are so dependent on their governments for survival. It's very concerning. And it's really concerning even to look outside the U.S. and see all these other governments are even more heavy-handed than here in the U.S., which is just really creepy. And so, to me, this is a concerted effort, a very organized effort, a global effort to do in some of the largest, strongest economies, largest, strongest countries in the world. And why would that, once again, why would that be? Why would certain people want that? Well, I think you can figure that out. So let me know what you think about all this. I know people have opinions on this. Don't be shy. Feel free to contribute in the comment section. That's what it's there for. If you would, though, to hit the like button, apparently that helps the algorithm. I don't know much about all that, but supposedly it helps. So if you want to help the channel, just hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're doing really good on the subscriptions, man. We have a massive surge of subscribers this month. I mean, I think it's actually a record. I mean, really just unbelievable amount of new people. And, oh yeah, I just want to thank everyone who has been using my hyperlinks in the description box. And sometimes I also put a link every once in a while if it's like a review video in the comment section. But I just want to thank everyone that uses those hyperlinks. It really helps the channel as well so that I can actually purchase more things for review in the future. So thanks again for doing that. So, hey, thanks everyone for your ongoing support. I'll catch you later.